Hello everybody, I'm SgtMasaru and welcome to another video. This is the GTX 745. I just happened to find this one on eBay for just $50. So I was wondering, can you game on it? Well, let's find out. Let's see the specs. This card, which has been released in February 2014, comes with 4 gigs of GDDR3 RAM. It has a core clock of 1033 MHz and a memory clock speed of 900 MHz. Oh, and don't forget, a turbo boost clock of 1085 MHz. Not that much. It has no pin connectors, so it doesn't require extra power from the PSU. It just gets all the power it needs from the PCI slot. The graphics card's power is 55 watt and the minimum system power requirement is 300 watt. And now onto the performance. It has 384 shading units, it has 24 texture mapping units, 16 render output CPUs, a pixel rate of 16.53 gigapixels a second, a texture rate of 24.79 gigapixels a second, and a floating point performance of 793.3 G-flops. And as you can see here, it has an HDMI output and a DVI output. So here is the question that I was asking myself. Is it good for gaming? Well, let's find out. I actually recorded some games. Battlefield 1, Fallout 4, Far Cry 3, Far Cry Primal, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Do mind that I am recording with a software, so a couple of frames will be lost. I think 5 up to 8, maybe 10. So let's take a look at the results. First one is Far Cry 3, 1080p on medium settings. We can see it bounces from 50 to 40 to 30, but even to 60 frames per second. It depends on where I am, but other than that, it was pretty playable. Yeah, it was very playable. Only thing is the GPU was getting pretty hot, so the fan was getting pretty noisy, but I think that's normal. So for a graphics card that doesn't even need a extra power from the PSU, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it was very good actually. It was getting an average of 55 frames per second, a minimum of 23, and a maximum of 68 frames per second. Pretty impressive if you ask me. Do mind that this is a recorded gameplay, so a couple of frames per second are lost here, but the average, the minimum, and the maximum frames per second are of the unrecorded game. Next up, Far Cry Primal, 1080p, low settings. The results? Well, I don't know, it's actually pretty good. For a card like this one, it did pretty well. I didn't even think it would run it, but it did on 1080p. I was recording, so just do mind, normal it was like 30 frames per second, so yeah, the average was 27, minimum 24, and maximum 32 frames per second. I think if you maybe lower the resolution, you can get some frames, but other than that, Far Cry Primal isn't a, it is a big title, you know, if we're talking about graphics and such. So here, if you can see, if we're looking to the ground, it just gets a maximum of 32. We are recording, so yeah. And yeah, those are the results of Far Cry Primal. Is it playable? Kinda, yeah. I guess you can play on it. So as I said, lower the resolution. It is playable, yeah. It is. Next up, Fallout 4. Again, 1080p and on medium settings. The results were actually pretty good. On some reason, it was kinda capped like in a V-sync. I don't know why, so it just couldn't go above 60. So on some places I think it could go above 60, but it just stayed on the 60 frames per second. But other than that, it was pretty good. An average of 54, minimum of 43, and a maximum of 61. Yeah, it just couldn't go above 61. But yeah, again, very good. And as I know, Fallout 4 is a very optimized game, but even though, this card just keeps surprising me. It is very good. It's not perfect, but for an OEM card like this one, and it's pretty tiny actually, it is good to run Fallout 4 like this, and the other games. Don't forget, it has GDDR3 RAM. Most of the GPUs from today has GDDR5 RAM. Next one, of course, GTA 5 1080p high, FXAA and MSAA off. Now this one really surprised me. Do mind, again, I am recording in game, so it does take some frames, but still in recording we achieved like 60 frames per second above actually. Here you can see it is gaining some frames per second. See, 65 per second. That is crazy. The average was 72 frames per second, the minimum 56, and the maximum 93 frames per second. Now again, this one really surprised me. It was crazy. I know GTA 5 is a very optimized game, but still, it is crazy how this card can play GTA 5 on high 1080p. I'm amazed, really. So can it run GTA 5? Yeah, easy. The next and the last one, Battlefield 1 1080p on medium settings. Now I know, I already said this card just keeps amazing me. I didn't even know this card would launch this game. The results were better than I was ever expecting. Very good. It got an average of 42 frames per second, a minimum of 38 and a maximum of 53. Do mind, this is a in-game recording, so again a couple of frames are lost here, but the average, the minimum and the maximum were just from the non-recorded gameplay. As you can see there, an explosion went off, so the frames dropped to 25, but other than that, crazy. I never thought it would get these results. And there we have it, guys. So in conclusion today, this card was doing very well. It was far above my expectations, really. It just kept surprising me. But would I recommend it to buy it? Well, it depends. Like if you're in a budget and you just want to play games, you could, but not like on the crazy high and ultra settings, and not the best and newest titles. And to the other question, can you game on it? Well, as you've seen, yeah, you actually could game on it. Again, not the perfect way and the ultra settings, but you could game on it. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Did you like it? Leave a like. Didn't you? Leave a dislike. Subscribe to me, because I'm thinking to make more videos like this. But also other random things, like gaming and just having fun. So tell me if you liked it in the comments also. And as you can see, I'm pretty new. So if you don't mind, go ahead and share it with your friends, maybe they'll like it. But anyways guys, I had very much fun making this video. I'm SgtMasaru, and I hope to see you in the next one.